Hare Krishna, welcome to this episode of Bhagavad-gītā. And in today's episode, we will be studying the 9th chapter, 28th verse, which is real renunciation. Om Ajnanatimir Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुन् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवम् साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्णकरुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमोऽस्तु ते। तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गे राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरि वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। So, Bhagavad-gītā chapter 9, text 28, real renunciation. śubhāśubha-phalair evaṁ mokṣyase karma-bandhanaiḥ sannyāsa-yoga-yuktātmā vimukto mām upaiṣyasi. Shubha from auspicious, ashubha and inauspicious, phalaih results, evaṁ thus, mokṣyase you will become free, karma of work, bandhanaiḥ from bondage, sannyasa of renunciation, yoga the yoga, yukta-atma having the mind firmly set on, vimuktaha liberated, mam to me, upaiṣyasi you will attain. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation: in this way you will be freed from bondage to work and its auspicious and inauspicious results. With your mind fixed on me in this principle of renunciation, you will be liberated and come to me. Just so you know what does he mean by in this way. So what is this way? So the previous verse, yat karoshi yad ashnasi yad juhoshi dadasi yat tapasyasi kaunteya tat kurushva madarpanam. Whatever you do, whatever you eat, whatever you offer or give away, and whatever austerities you perform, do that, O son of Kunti, as an offering to me. Yeah? So anything that we do, we have to do for Kṛṣṇa. And in this way, you will be freed from the bondage to work and its auspicious and inauspicious results. With your mind fixed on me in this principle of renunciation, you will be liberated and come to me. So it's interesting that um, Kṛṣṇa says even the auspicious results will not be there. So what does he mean by that? So let's come to that. We will read the purport first and then we will start explaining this. Just a second. Okay, so purport. One who acts in Krishna consciousness under superior direction is called yukta. The technical term is yukta vairagya. One who acts in Krishna consciousness under superior direction. This is the important word, important phrase there. under superior direction. We should never conduct our Krishna conscious activities independently, whimsically, taking our own decisions. We have to consult authority. Consult the spiritual master, whether Diksha Guru or Shiksha Guru. We have to consult first. Anything that we do, we have to consult and execute the order. Karishe Vachanam Tava. Often we do this thing where we want to do something and we take permission. Can I do this? And if you say, you can't do that, then they'll be discouraged. So sometimes we say, okay, do whatever you want, do it for Kṛṣṇa. But the right way to do is take instruction from the superior, what they want to do, or what the Shiksha Guru or Diksha Guru or Kṛṣṇa directly wants us to do, and then execute that. That's it. This is called Sarvarambha Parityagi. Sarvarambha Parityagi. Arambha means beginning. That means when we make our plans and then seek Krishna's blessings or the devotees' blessings in our plans, that's not very high grade. The real standard is Karishye Vachanam Tava. So Vachanam is yours, I am just Karishye. So the Arambha is given by Krishna or the spiritual master. So we have to just execute. So that is the proper constitutional position. So one who acts like that is called Yukta. The technical term is Yukta Vairagya. So reading on. This is further explained by Rupa Goswami as follows. Anasaktasya vishayan yatharham upayunjatah nirbandhah Krishna sambandhe yuktam vairagyamuchyate Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 2.255. Rupa Goswami says that as long as we're in this material world, we have to act. We cannot cease acting or stop acting. Therefore, if actions are performed and the fruits are given to Krishna, then that is called Yukta Vairagya. Actually, situated in renunciation, such activities clear the mirror of the mind, and as the actor gradually makes progress in spiritual realization, he becomes completely surrendered to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, at the end, he becomes liberated, and this liberation is also specified. By this liberation, he does not become one with the Brahmajyoti, but rather enters into the planet of the Supreme Lord. It is clearly mentioned here, Mam upaiṣyasi. He comes to me, back home, back to Godhead. There are 5 different stages of liberation, and here it is specified that the devotee who has always lived his lifetime here, under the direction of the Supreme Lord, as stated, has evolved to the point where he can, after quitting this body, go back to Godhead and engage directly in the association of the Supreme Lord. So now, this all looks like, some whatever. But actually, this is the greatest journey to go back to Godhead. And the means to go there is not by rocket fuel, by some, spacecraft. No. It's by our activities here. It's very practical. And the responsibility of taking us there is Krishna's. Our responsibility is to act properly. The fuel that will take us there is Krishna himself. Krishna himself will take. So we don't have to worry about all those things. So this is very practical. Anyone who has no interest but to dedicate his life to the service of the Lord is actually a sannyasi. Such a person always thinks of himself as an eternal servant, dependent on the supreme will of the Lord. As such, whatever he does it for the benefit of the Lord. Whatever action he performs it as a service to the Lord. He does not give serious attention to the fruitive activities or prescribed duties mentioned in the Vedas. For ordinary persons, it is obligatory to execute the prescribed duties mentioned in the Vedas, but although a pure devotee who is completely engaged in the service of the Lord may sometimes appear to go against the prescribed Vedic duties, actually it is not so. It is said, therefore, by Vaishnava authorities that even the most intelligent person cannot understand the plans and activities of a pure devotee. The exact words are, तार वाक्य क्रिया मुद्रा विज्ञान बुझाए. चैतन्य मध्य चैतन्य चरितामृत मध्य 23:39. जार चित्ते कृष्ण प्रेमा करोय करोय उदय तार वाक्य क्रिया मुद्रा विज्ञान बुझाए. A person who is thus always engaged in the service of the Lord, or is always thinking and planning how to serve the Lord, is to be considered completely liberated at present, and in the future he is going back home, back to Godhead, is guaranteed. He is above all materialistic criticism, just as Kṛṣṇa is above all criticism. So, recently I saw a video. One second. Recently, I saw a video. This person was kind of Mayavad. He was on a podcast. And he says, you see, Bhagavad-gītā, if somebody asks, if somebody says that, oh, Bhagavad-gītā says like this, I ask them, what is the sloka? They quote me the shloka. And he says, even if they quote the shloka, you see, there are many contradictory shlokas in Bhagavad-gītā itself. So, depending on the context which is used, so it depends. So, all kinds of messages are there in Bhagavad-gītā, and we have to know how to take it. For example, he gave example. In, and he himself could not quote the shloka. He said, in the second chapter, it is said that, you go above the Vedas, you disregard the Vedic injunctions. And in 16th or 17th chapter, this is exactly what he said. In 16th or 17th chapter, there is another verse which says, everybody must follow the Vedas. If he doesn't follow the Vedas, he's an agnostic, he's a atheist, he's a demon. Actually, the verses 16:23 and 16:24. And 245 is the other verse. So 245 is a Traigunya Vishaya Veda, Nistraigunya Bhavarjuna, rise above the Vedas. And in 16:24 he says, Tasmat Shastram Pramanam Te Karya Karya Vyavasthito Gyatva Shastra Vithanoktam Karma Kartum Iharahasi. So everybody must follow what is to be done and what is not to be done should be taken from the Shastra, and one must follow the words of the Shastra. And if one does not do so, यह शास्त्र विदम उत्सृज्य वर्तते कामकारतः न सिद्धिम अवाप्नोति न सुखम न पराम गतिम. Now there is a big distinction between the two. Okay, one is यह शास्त्र विधिम उत्सृज्य वर्तते कामकारातः. Kamakarata means his own lusty activities. If he does not adhere to the principles of the Vedas and he acts on the principle of lust, giving into lust, then that is condemned. Yes. And therefore, for the ordinary person, he has to follow Shastra. But for a person that is for a normal person who is elevating himself through karmakandi activities. But especially for the bhakti yogi, he is advised to rise above the three modes. Don't be enamored by this, words promising heavenly rewards and those ritualistic ceremonies that will get us there. These things should be rejected. That is what is meant by Nistraigunya Bhavarjuna, Traigunya Vishya. So we have to rise above the three modes. And because Vedas are dealing with the three modes, and why are the Vedas dealing with three modes? Because they are meant, the vast majority of the Vedic literature is meant to elevate those people who are within the three modes, and therefore, accordingly, if a person is in the mode of ignorance, and there are instructions for such a person to elevate him to the next higher standard. Those who are in the passion, then Rajogun, they have certain set of instructions from which they can come to mode of goodness. And those in the mode of goodness, okay, at least come to now you rise above the three modes and go to Shuddha Sattva. So these are the instructions. So the whole point is to progress to the Shuddha Sattva stage, which is devotional service, Krishna consciousness. But if we don't come to that, then we are stagnating or slipping down. So that is the whole point. And for those who are not self-controlled, they have to follow all the rules in order to regulate themselves. One who has all the rules आराधितो यदि हरिस् तपसा ततः किं नाराधितो यदि हरिस् तपसा ततः किम् अंतर्बहिर्यदि हरिस् तपसा ततः किं नान्तर्बहिर्यदि हरिस् तपसा ततः किम्. So tapasa tata kim? All the austerity, vrata, vows, and regulations, all these have to get us to the point of always remembering Krishna and never forgetting him. Smartavyah satatam Vishnur vismartavyo na jatu chit. Um, what is that? Sarvaveda nishedhasya, sarvavidha nishedhasya, etayor eva kinkara. So all the other rules and regulations of the Vedas are meant to take one to this person where, take one to this point where always remember Krishna and never forget him. That's it. These two things, one do and one don't. That is the ultimate do and ultimate don't. Every other do and don't is meant to bring the person to this stage of always remembering Krishna and never forgetting him. So these, and one who has attained to that stage of always remembering Krishna and never forgetting him, he has already risen above the three modes. He doesn't need to actually follow. यस्त्व आत्मरतिरेव स्यात् आत्मतृप्तश्च मानवः आत्मन्येव च सन्तुष्टस्तस्य कार्यं न विद्यते. This is explained in the third chapter, 17th verse. But for one who takes pleasure in the self, whose human life is one of self-realization and who is satisfied in the self only, fully satiated, for him there is no duty. नैव तस्य कृतेनार्थो न कृतेनः कश्चन न चास्य सर्वभूतेषु कश्चिदर्थ व्यपाश्रयः. A self-realized man has no purpose to fulfill in the discharge of his prescribed duties, nor has he any reason not to perform such work, nor has he any need to depend on any other living being. So he has no reason to perform such work and no reason not to perform such work. So, but there is actually more reason to perform such work, because although he may be completely aloof and above the purpose of all these things, but to set examples, and that is the next verse. Tasmad asaktah satatam karyam karma samachara asakto hi acharan karma paramapnoti purusha. Therefore, without being attached to the fruits of activities, one should act as a matter of duty, for by working without attachment, one attains the supreme. कर्मणैव हि संसिद्धिम् आस्थिता जनकादयः लोकसङ्ग्रहमेवापि सम्पश्यन् कर्तुमर्हसि. Kings such as Janaka attained perfection solely by performance of prescribed duties. Therefore, just for the sake of educating the people in general, you should perform your work. So, to set examples for others. Like Srila Prabhupada, he did not need to do anything. Because he's already Krishna conscious completely. But he's doing everything to teach us how to live a life of Krishna consciousness. See? So this is because yadyad acharati shreshthas tattadevetaro janah sayat pramanam kurute lokastadanuvartate. Whatever action a great man performs, common men follow, and whatever standards he sets by exemplary acts, all the world pursues. You see? So this is the point. So sometimes an acharya, he doesn't need to actually do anything, but he does it for us, to set an example for us. So the interesting thing here is śubhāśubha-phalair evaṁ mokṣyase karma-bandhanaiḥ. Because shubha, what we say as shubha or auspicious and ashubha inauspicious, the real auspiciousness is the association of devotees and Krishna consciousness that results from it. But we think in material terms, shubha and ashubha, auspicious and inauspicious. Actually, both are inauspicious. Kuvishaya, suvishaya. Both are actually vishaya. That means we may calculate pious or impious or auspicious or inauspicious, but actually anything that is not Krishna conscious is inauspicious because it will keep us in this material world. Something that takes us to heavenly planets, we term it as auspicious. So something that will take us to hellish planets, we'll take it as inauspicious. something that will do good to us, or in the sense we can have some sense gratification. If anything can bring sense gratification, we consider it auspicious. What is auspicious usually? Oh, worshipping some demigod, doing that. What does it give us? A higher birth in this material world. We think that is auspicious. That is not auspicious. Because we have been doing this for millions of years. Brahmanda Bhramite. We have been, Bhramayan Sarva Bhutani. Ashitim Chaturashchaiva Laksham Stan Jivajatishu. भ्रमद्भेर पुरुषं प्राप्यं मानुष्यं जन्म पर्ययात् तदपि अफलतां जातः तेषाम् आत्माभिमानिनः वराकाणाम् अनाश्रित्य गोविंद चरणद्वयम्. Very important verses. Everybody must by heart these verses. Ashitim Chaturashchaiva Laksham Stan Jivajat. 8.4 million life forms. We have been going. Heavenly planets, hellish planets. Nothing is auspicious there. Nothing is auspicious here. Nothing is auspicious in the hellish planets. The only auspicious thing is Krishna consciousness, by which we can go out completely. To go to a prisoner, if he is in C class prison, if he thinks that A class prison is auspiciousness, he is mistaken. Prison is never auspicious. So to go out of the prison is auspicious. So material world is prison house, and here we have to. One second. That's a bit too much. So here we have to transmigrate in different bodies. That is not good. That is that is actually inauspicious. I mean, janma mrityu jara vyadhi dukkha doshanudarshanam. This is dukkha, the misery, the miserable conditions we cannot avoid. Janma mrityu jara and vyadhi, that means birth, death, old age, and disease. We cannot avoid those things. So where is the auspiciousness? Even in the heavenly planets, these things are there. So these material śubhā and aśubhā-phalair, evaṁ mokṣyase karma-bandhanaiḥ. That's why it is said, what is that? Karmaṇyevādhikāraste mā phaleshu kadāchana. That phala, so you have the right to perform your duty, but you're not entitled to its fruits. The fruit of such work should be given to Kṛṣṇa. sannyāsa-yoga-yuktātmā. So a person who is doing everything for Kṛṣṇa, yat karoshi, yat ashnasi, yat juhoshi dadasi, yat tapasyasi kaunteya tat kurushva madarpanam, he is sannyasa. What is the meaning of sannyasa? Here it is mentioned renunciation, right? But actually, what is sannyasa? Why it is called renunciation? Sat-nyāsa. So, if we sacrifice everything for Sat, that is called sannyasa. So, what is Sat? Satchidananda, that is Kṛṣṇa. Satchidananda Vigraha. So, Ishvara Parama Kṛṣṇa. So, if we give up everything for the sake of Sat, the supreme absolute truth, Satyam Param Dhimahi, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So, that Supreme Personality of Godhead is whom we have to offer our everything, and that is called sannyas. That's why in the 6th chapter it is said, what is that? What is sannyas? 6th chapter, 1st verse. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Anashritah karma phalam karyam karma karoti yaha sa sannyasi cha yogi cha na niragnir na chakriyah. The Supreme Personality of God is said, one who is unattached to the fruits of his work and who works as he is obligated is in the renounced order of life. And he is the true mystic, not he who lights no fire and performs no duty. What is this lighting no fire and performing no duty? Because a sannyasi, see, a grihastha has to do, he has so many duties. And he also has to do panchasuna yajna, he has to light the fire to do yajnas. So once one takes sannyas, then he is not obliged to do this. uh, because his very life is that of uh, sacrifice. In fact, this cloth for sanya, actually, brahmacharis don't wear this cloth. Brahmacharis wear white cloth. But this saffron was introduced. Of course, this cloth now faded and became almost pink. But actually, this is supposed to be saffron. So this saffron color is supposed to be worn by sannyasis and not by brahmacharis. In fact, vanaprastha also they wear saffron, and especially sannyas they wear saffron. Only Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur introduced the saffron color for brahmacharis also, because in Ramakrishna Mission they were doing like that, and they were everybody was respecting them and listening to them, and our brahmacharis nobody was listening. Okay, then Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur said we'll also put for brahmacharis also saffron. So that's when it started. So Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur started, and that tradition continued. Prabhupada also continued that um, among his disciples. So anyway, Agni Parichadan. Agni Parichadan means clothes colored like fire. This is explained in the seventh canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. What is that? This is for Vanaprastha. 7:12:21. केशरोमनखश्मश्रु मलानि जटिलोदधत् कमण्डल्वजिनेदण्ड वल्कलाग्नि परिच्छदान्. The Vanaprastha should wear matted locks of hair on his head and let his body hair, nails, and moustache grow. He should not cleanse his body of dirt. He should keep a water pot, deerskin, and rod, wear the bark of a tree as a covering, and use garments colored like fire. So, of course, many of these things can't be followed in today's context. And even if we put like this hair, you know, everything growing and everything like, nails and everything grow, mustache, we cannot preach. We cannot sit in a city. We have to go to the forest somewhere and do all these things. And so the point, what kind of rules are you know applicable to today's age, that the Acharya will give. So the Acharya Srila Prabhupada gave us Agni Parichadan, garments colored like fire. That much we can do. All the other things, matted locks of hair, become a hippie. Nails and mustache grow, not cleansing the body of dirt. These can't be done. If you have to preach, you have to be presentable at least. So should keep a water pot, deer skin, and rod. At least rod is there for sannyasis, and bark of a tree, that also we can't do. Garments colored like fire, it is that much you can do. So the point of Agni Parichadan, garments colored like fire, means, of course, we cannot burn our body. That is suicide. So clothes of that color to signify that I have sacrificed, just like in the fire sacrifice you put so many things in the grains and ghee and all that. So similarly, I have sacrificed this body in this fire. The fire like garments signifies fire. So my body I have put in this fire of sacrifice. So my body is only meant for Krishna's service. That's the meaning. And this is not only for those who have donned the saffron colored cloth, but all devotees should be sannyasis. Because what is the meaning of sannyas? It is this 6:1. One who is unattached to the fruits of his work and who works as he is obligated is in the renounced order of life. And he is the true mystic and not he who lights no fire and performs no duty. So sannyasi, usually he doesn't need to follow all these panchasuna yajna and all these things, because his very life is full of sacrifice. So that's why lighting no fire is one of the things about sannyas life. And performs no duty means he has no duty he has transcended those worldly duties. He has taken sannyas. He has given his life for the Lord. So he does not have any duty. But in Krishna consciousness, towards the Lord, we have duty. And that duty can be performed in any ashram. And by principle, they are sannyas, devotees who are working in this format. They are sannyasis. So When we are sannyas, at least in principle, then sannyāsa-yoga-yuktātmā. Yoga-yuktātmā. So yukta, this word is explained in the purport, yukta vairagya. So we have to be yukta in the matter of executing Krishna consciousness, but vairagya in the matter of sense gratification. We have to use everything in Krishna's service, but we have to take nothing for our personal sense gratification. So this is the yukta vairagya. So that is the art of work. That is the art of work. What is the exact word? 250. Yoga karmasu kaushalam. Yoga karmasu kaushalam. बुद्धि युक्तो जहाति उभे सुकृत दुष्कृते तस्माद् योगाय युज्यस्व योगः कर्मसु कौशलम्. A man engaged in devotional service rids himself of both good and bad actions even in this life. Therefore strive for yoga, which is the art of all work. This is the art of work. So this commentator in the video who was saying that, yeah, there are verses, all contradictory. In one place he is saying that follow the Vedas, in another place he is saying don't follow the Vedas. So, unless we know from a pure devotee, we won't know the real meaning behind that. So, um, I can show you another contradiction. He says, Dharma samsthapanarthaya sambhavami. I come every yuga for to establish religious principles. And then in the final he says, Sarva dharman parityajya. Give up all dharma. What is this? He came for this and he is negating his own sentence. No, he is not negating. Give up all nonsense kaitava dharma. Dharma projhita kaitavatra parama nirmatsaranam stam. So, where Bhagavad-gītā ends, that is where Bhagavatam starts. So, in the beginning of Bhagavad-gītā, second verse, Dharma projhita kaitavatra parama nirmatsaranam satam. So, every other kaitav dharma given up. Mamekam sharanam vraja, he said. That is real dharma. That means to surrender to Krishna exclusively. That is real dharma of the living entity. So, that is what we should do. That is the art of work. So then nothing is contradictory. Krishna is not an idiot. He will speak one thing here and another opposite thing here. Why? Krishna is so incoherent in his brain, is it? Huh? These people are implying like that. When they say things like this, they're basically saying that Krishna, he will twist and turn and whatever he speaks, he's just like a madman, He's not even coherent, he's not consistent, nothing. That is what they're implying. Oh, Bhagavad-gītā, he said this, he said that also. What? You must understand the context. It's very simple. For those who are not, self-realized, they have to follow all the rules. Once you become self-realized, you're above the rules because the rules are meant to take you to the destination. You're already at the destination. Tapasya, vrata, swadhyaya, all these have to take you to the destination of Krishna consciousness. But when you're already in Krishna consciousness, you don't need anything else. You're already there. But in that time, when he's actually self-realized, he will relish the topics of Krishna. He will relish. Does it mean that the self-realized soul doesn't read Bhagavad-gītā? No, he reads. He doesn't need to read. We need to read. He doesn't need to read. But he reads. Why he reads? Because of love. Whatever Krishna says, he will take in everything. Whatever is connected with Krishna, because he's so attracted to Krishna that he will want to know more about his pastimes. Even if he's already read the pastimes 100 times, he will still again read. He will just relish, keep on relishing. Newer and newer taste. Navanavarasa dhamanyudyatam rantumasi. So Navanavarasa, Nityanutana, is always fresh, ever youthful. His topics are ever fresh. So he never gets satiated. Out of love, he reads. Like Prabhupada, he used to read his own Krishna book, his own Bhagavad-gītā. He used to read his own books. Because I only wrote, so I don't need to read. No, he reads because he is relishing. He said, this is not my book, this is Krishna's book. Krishna dictated and I wrote. So, that is the stage. you know. So it's like this. We, for example, in the beginning, if we are driving, for example, we need to remind ourselves, and the instructor sometimes, when we are learning under an instructor, the instructor need to remind us, hey, look in the mirror when you're turning, look over the shoulder, and and then if nobody, and then only turn. So these things, I mean, so many instructions are there, right? You have to, press on the clutch, release the clutch, press on the brake, release the brake, and press on the accelerator. So many things are there. Left leg doing one thing, right leg doing another thing, hand doing one thing, another hand doing another thing, eyes doing something else. So everything has to be coordinated, right? So in the beginning, there are so many rules to remember. But after he gets the license and he is proficient in driving, he does not need to remember those rules. Why? Because he is ingrained in him. He already knows how to drive. He automatically does all the things that are, goaded by the instructor. The instructor goes, hey, do this, do this, do this, do this. Don't do this, don't do this, don't do this. He automatically does it without anybody goading him. That is called raganuga. Raganuga. So he's attached. Vimukto mam upaiṣyasi. This is the other thing. He comes back to Kṛṣṇa. So ultimately, we have to go back to Kṛṣṇa. That's the aim of life. Nate vidu swarthagatam hi Vishnu. And to do that journey, we don't need to build rockets. We don't need to do any of that nonsense, time wasting rubbish. We just have to work according to Krishna's direction. That's it. According to the spiritual master's direction. Then we will be automatically sent there. Krishna will accept. And it is not to go to Vaikuntha that we need to do. In fact, when we do this, we are in Vaikuntha. We are in Vaikuntha even in this material world. That is the beauty of Krishna consciousness, that it doesn't matter where we are. And this is the reason why a devotee is not hard up on going back to Vaikuntha. If Krishna takes me there, is well and good. I don't find myself qualified. So even if he chooses to, leave me here in this material world, at least I ask for the opportunity of association with devotees and of the opportunity for service. So these things I ask. That's what a devotee's prayer always is. A real pure devotee's prayer. So he does not ask for, things which are anything else. I mean, even going back to Godhead, he does not ask. He asks for service. Why? Because in that service, in that association of devotees, is all perfection. The entire Vaikuntha is there within the association of devotees. And when we're reading Krishna book, we're already in Golokudham. So this is the, you know, and when we're doing Krishna's service, we're already in Vaikuntha. So it's not different. We're already in Vaikuntha. So that is the nature of the, you know, spiritual life of devotional service. Yeah. So yeah, Vaishnava Kriya Mudra Vijnana Bujhoy. So Vaishnava, he acts, and ordinary people cannot understand his activities. I was just thinking, um, there is this scientists, all these physicists, they try to understand, quantum physics, for example, theory of relativity, I don't know, big names, and trying to understand the matter at its fundamental existence, and what is the creation, and how is everything, they try to understand without God. And there was this video which I was just watching yesterday. This physicist, he was saying, you know once upon a time, people thought, there was some supernatural being who created everything, and that's their explanation for existence. Later on, the age of enlightenment came, and there were scientists and mathematicians who gave logical foundations for the existence of the universe. They have postulated theories. They have come up with equations of E equal to mc square, and gravitational equations and all these things. So these are the things. It's not like some supernatural being doing something. It's these laws which govern. The guy has no brain. How those laws came into place? Yeah, you took so many centuries and thousands of years to find out that these laws exist, even. And these laws have been existing way before you found it. So, who set those laws into motion? He thinks just because we can explain something, and even now they cannot explain many things. I was just watching. We were taught like as if it's yeah fact. Gravity, mass. If you have the greater the mass, the greater the pulling force, and yeah, that's gravity. And there's equation to it, acceleration equal to mass times, whatever. Now, um, now the current understanding of gravity is they have no idea what gravity is. They have no idea how it works. Like the Newtonian law of gravity, kind of, those formulas uh, you know, work, but it has problems when we, you know, try to understand it in its entirety. So Einstein came up with a different idea of gravity. Gravity means it's actually warping space and time around an object according to its weight. And why does it warp? No explanation. And space and time basically bends. So that bend is what is causing the you know orbiting of the planets and all that. That's his explanation. And then, but the same explanation does not work when we are looking at atoms. That same laws don't work. And but everything big is made up of those atoms only. So why in that atom level it's not working and his thing works so called, and then Newtonian laws also works, but that is wrong and still it works, and this one also wrong, still it works. This is so called correct, but it cannot explain this one. What is all this? They have no idea what they're talking about, and just because we can explain, put it into words in some form, that too imperfectly, still they do not know what is going on. I saw another video, amazing, light. They cannot understand how light acts. So mysterious, light, just light. So now they're trying to understand. Now I'm not going to go into all the details of what it is, you know, but it was fascinating. Uh-huh. Um, I can explain, but it's unnecessary detail. So light they cannot understand how light works. They don't understand. So if they really look at everything under microscope, they cannot understand anything. That's one point. They can't understand things. Another point is, even if you try to understand these big complex formulae and these theories and postulations and all these mental gymnastics, how are you going to solve the problem of birth, death, old age, and disease? Zero clue about that. Next, life can go just fine without knowing any of that. We don't need to know how matter is and how everything is. We don't need to know. We don't need, really. We can live without all of that. So it's not essential. The knowledge, even if they try to dissect and trisect and quadrisect or whatever it is, they it is not actually useful and practical in any way. But contrast that with our current spiritual life, spiritual learning, Krishna consciousness. Now here in this verse, just like that, upaiṣyasi, you will attain me, you will come back to my abode. Krishna is talking of the greatest journey ever known to man. He's talking about the greatest journey here in a very, you know, matter of factly. It's, yeah, you do this, you come back to me. This is the greatest journey. And there's no hype. It's just like, just saying. And here these guys have make so much hype about going to moon or Mars or everything, and collecting dust and doing rubbish nonsense. No meaning to their activities. Physicists, big, you know, massive brains they have. What do they? What are they studying? Or how is matter moving? How is light working? So we as devotees are not interested in how to know everything, how everything works. We need to know that much, that okay, Krishna is great, yeah, some of the details we can have, but how to live my life? Like, if you read Bhagavatam, you will know about the cosmology, time. You will know about you know um, so many activities of the history. You know, you will know about politics. You will know about spiritual science and everything. But everything is connected. Now, in modern science, there is a theory called string theory. String theory. Now, in that string theory, basically it's explaining that everything is a string, single string or an open string or a closed loop string, whatever. They're trying to explain things with a string theory. We have a string theory. Mattah parataram nanyat kinchidasti dhananjaya. Mai sarvam idam protam sutre manigana iva. Sutra means string. This is our string theory. What is that? O conqueror of wealth, there is no truth superior to me. Everything rests upon me as pearls are strung on a thread. This thread is the string, sutra. This is our sutra theory, not theory, fact. So, this is our string theory. What is that string holding everything is Krishna. But without understanding Krishna, can never explain. Okay, even if they try to, that's why there is this verse. They are trying to understand each and every atom, each and every, within atom what is going on, everything they're trying to ascertain. But Brahma simply said like this. I think there is another verse also similar. You see, गुणात्मनस्तेऽपि गुणान् विमातुं हित्वा हितावतीर्णस्य क ईशिरेस्य कालेन यैर्वा विमिताः सुकल्पैर्भूपांशवः खेमिहिकाद्युभासः. In time, learned philosophers or scientists might be able to count all the atoms of the earth, the particles of snow, or perhaps even the shining molecules radiating from the sun, the stars, and other luminaries. But among these learned men, who could possibly count the unlimited transcendental qualities possessed by you, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who have descended onto the surface of the earth for the benefit of all living entities? So, this is exactly. I mean, it's not that, oh, what they're doing is like very novel, very forward thinking, already mentioned by Brahma. Even if they count every damn atom of the universe, they can never understand any damn thing. That's what Brahma is saying basically. Even Lord Krishna's creation, material creation, is so fantastic. We can't even understand anything of his creation. What to speak of him? So, if you see what they're doing, they're thinking they're very scientific and this and that, this and that. They are either engaging in topics which are completely useless in practical life, which will not solve any problem. If anything, they will complicate matters even more. Now they're using quantum physics, quantum physics. Quantum computers are coming now. Now, next future is quantum computing. And with that comes all sorts of problems again, complications. Hmm. Everything is going to be a problem. I mean, we can live very simply without any of this. These are all anarthas actually, all unwanted things. We don't need any of these things. We can just sit down, chant Hare Krishna, have food, agriculture, cow protection. That's it. That's all that requires. That's all that is required. And yeah, to maintain some law and order, some military and some police thing. That's it. There's no, and people, if we are the law and order, Police and these kind of laws, they are the last. The first thing is, if people are cultured in Krishna consciousness, then to a vast degree crime will be reduced anyway. If the vast majority of people are all Krishna conscious, crime will reduce. There will be no more crime. They will attain all godly qualities. Yasyaste bhaktir bhagavatya kinchana sarvair gunays tatra samasate suraha. If the demigods, the quality of the demigods will be there in the surrendered devotees. So, if Krishna consciousness is spread, automatically we don't even need any of that much. So, but of course, practically speaking, not everybody will be like that. So, there has to be some law and order. Okay, fine, a little bit. Rather than that, what is the requirement, really? What is the requirement? What is the need of going to some other planet and collecting dust and stone and coming back? What is the profit in that? Oh, for the future, we are, you know, setting the foundation for the future people to, take advantage of these things. These are leaps, even you will see, fruits of these and in 200 years time. Okay, let's look at what inventions and discoveries were done 200 years back that are, you know, reaping fruits now. And how is the effect? Okay, trains started, locomotive engines, uh, electricity was done. What is this? Light bulb was invented, telephone was invented, and eventually, last 30, 40 years, internet was invented. So, what is the development from that? What is the effect? The effect is that now there is too much noise. Every time the argument against us is, oh, you are also using the internet, you are also live streaming your class. We are just using because it is there. If it is not there, now there are 25 people listening. There will be 25,000 people listening if it is this internet is not there. How? Because every town and every village, or even 25 million people will be listening. Why? Because every town and every village there will be no unnecessary distractions in the internet, and no movies, nothing. The people will come and hear Ram Katha, Krishna Katha. In this way they will all be hearing about Krishna Katha. And that used to be the system in India. So we, for devotees can make use even of the hellish situations. So this internet, what has it created? Too much noise. That's all it has created. But devotees, even in that hellish nonsense, they can use it productively. Everybody else is binding themselves in karma using these technologies. Only a devotee can use this technology without getting bound, and he can release others from bondage. So only a devotee can use this thing. Like Prabhupada explained, the transport system, um, aeroplanes, trains, yeah, a lot of advancement. What is happening now? People who used to have their house on a farm, and they used to get out of their door, and that is their workplace, and in the farm they work, and always stay with the family. That used to be the life. Now, because there is transport system, they are going on a train 2 hours journey to their workplace, or sometimes even flight. Prabhupada said even at his time, 1970s, people used to take flight, like half an hour, 45 minutes flight to work and flight back home. They used to have flight passes, like a bus pass, like that, a concession card or something like that. So they used to fly these things every day, flying, and or train, going 2 hours, coming back, jam packed in the train. Is this actually advancement? They're getting more entangled just because there is a transport system. Now you have to stand in the or sit in the traffic jam in your car, and go to work, rush hour back again. It's actually creating more problems, and there are accidents and everything. Only a devotee, yes, if there is good transport system, he will use it and go to preach, and he can do more preaching with technology. So any convenience that is there, only the devotee can experience convenience. The others, they think it is convenience, it is actually a more of an entanglement. Now some people say, no, for me it is convenient, I'm earning good money, I don't need to even travel anywhere. I'm doing e-commerce, or I'm doing this and that, internet business, something. Okay, you're earning money. What are you doing with that money? Entangling yourself, basically. You're buying this and that, buying this and that, or whatever. You're entangling yourself. You're not doing any productive thing with that. Productive thing means only one thing: Krishna consciousness. This temporary life, if we can mold it in such a way that it, in exchange for this temporary life, we can have permanent life. In other words, if you go back to Vaikuntha, that is permanent life. So, if we can exchange every moment of this temporary life to prepare for the permanent life, that is productivity. But if ultimately, whether we earn money or whatever, we're going to lose everything. Yeah, I can earn $1 million, $1 billion, but I'm going to lose everything, right? So, where is the productivity there? Productivity means I should not lose that asset. That asset is Krishna consciousness, which we can never lose. Neha bhikkamanasosti pratyavayo na vidyate swalpam apyasya dharmasya trayate mahato bhayat. 240 of Bhagavad-gītā. That is real asset. So only devotees can find convenience, even in hell. Whatever it is, they will find convenience and they will preach. But the non-devotees will always entangle themselves. With all amenities, with all conveniences, they will just entangle themselves. So, always be conscious of this. Juxtapose the instructions of Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam and all this with what materialistic life is promising you. Don't ever take it that, okay, that is my material part of life, this is my spiritual part of life. I will chant also, and I will also, have great hopes in future development of technology, and I will also celebrate the Chandrayaan 3 mission, and I will also do Ganesh Puja, and I will also surrender, chant Hare Krishna, and I will also, then you will also go to hell, na? Go there. So we can't be like that. We must be very clear. We must be very clear. Krishna consciousness is the answer. Means it is the answer. And if somebody is promising something as a very attractive thing, that is not attractive, and we should be able to see why it is not attractive. Why is it completely inferior to Krishna consciousness? We cannot be in this dichotomy where I accept this and I accept that also. Like classic. I mean, our ISRO chairman, after the Chandrayaan 3 mission, he was going to the temple, and reporters, news reporters, they asked him, "Sir, you have done the greatest scientific thing for India, sent machine to moon, but you're going to temple. So how do you reconcile these two? Like reconcile religious life and scientific life. If you're such a great scientist, how can you be religious? And how are you doing it? Please enlighten us." Then he said a good sound bite. He said, "For external exploration, science. For internal exploration, religion." That's a good sound bite. Oh, whatever, whatever, whatever. But we have a problem with that, because you mean to say religion does not have answer for external exploration? You mean we don't have the answers? We have the answers. What Chandralok actually looks like. What they went to, that is not how Chandralok looks like. They saw what they saw. I don't know. They saw some sand and rock. That means they did not access that Chandraloka. Even if they went there, they are unable to see anything. But our Vedas say something else. So if you think that scientific exploration is the cause, I mean, or is the way to explore externally, and that's what you found. Now, in your religion, which is so-called said internal exploration, there are descriptions of Chandralok, which is way different from what you saw in the Chandrayaan. So, how come you're not thinking like which is true now? If this is what the science is showing, and this is what the so why is it? So there has to be some inquiry. No inquiry. Oh, this is internal exploration. That is external exploration. Our thing is that yo mam evam asammodho janati purushottamam sasarvavid bhajati mam sarva bhavena bharata. Once you know Krishna, you will know external and internal. Everything you will know. You don't need to have something else for external, as if we don't have enough material in the Vedas. But if you try to do external exploration with your senses, that is the wrong way to do it. In fact, somebody told me, before every launch of an aircraft in ISRO, in Indian Space Research Organization, They go to Tirupati, it seems, for puja and for blessings of the Lord. That is not how we do it. People may think, oh wow, this is so sanskari, very, very religious. That's not religious. That is some religious stupidity. That is what it is. Because real religion means Karishya Vachanam Tava. Did Krishna ask us to explore the moon like that? No. Even in the correct way to go to moon, Krishna even dissuaded us from that also. He said, useless going to the moon, useless going to any planet in this material world. Abrahma bhuvanan loka punaravartana Arjuna. You go to Vaikuntha. Come back to me. Mam upaiṣyasi. Mam upaiṣyasi. Krishna is saying in this today's verse. 928. He said, Mam upaiṣyasi. You come to me. He's offering the highest. And devotees and ISKCON temples are congratulating Chandrayaan mission. I just cannot take it. For the last few weeks, I've been speaking on Chandrayaan only. Wherever I go, I'm going to somebody's house, some bhajan Gita part, I spoke Chandrayaan there. Classes, I think last few classes, if you have followed me, I spoke about Chandrayaan again. Because this has to be smashed. This has to be smashed. There is no good thing in that. We have to be very solid in our understanding that this is not the standard. We have to condemn everything that falls short of complete surrender to Krishna. And that is the view, that is the thing that Prabhupada taught us. Prabhupada taught us that. And we have to absolutely stand by that because nothing else is worth it. You see what they have done. Collected dust and came back. Not even come back. Leave the dust there also. Rock and dust. If some child picks up some dust, you will scold the child. Why? What are you doing? Put the dust back there. Why are you bringing all the dust here to our home? Huh? And here they're collecting big scientists, big brain. Go there and collect dust. The brain full of dust. That is why. That's all you can do. So direction has to be shown. So we cannot be proud of these kind of missions. Our real pride is this Mam upaiṣyasi. We have a solution to go back to the greatest destination, never to come back here anymore. No more suffering. So this is the fuel. What is the fuel? Devotion. The activities in devotional service is the fuel. That will Krishna will. Oh, he is serious. Sannyāsa-yoga-yuktātmā. Okay, I will save him. Mokṣyase karma-bandhanaiḥ. So this is how we have to act. ISRO scientists are hypocrites. And this is hypocrisy. I mean, absolute hypocrisy. I mean, why are you praying to Lord Balaji to make your mission a success? First of all, your own life mission is a failure. Huh? Your life mission is a failure. You have brains, yes. You have brains to do all those avionics, electronics, all that, whatever, to send something to another celestial body. But brains are useless now, collecting dust there. Your machine is collecting dust, your brain is collecting dust. So where is the profit now? Mayaya apaharta jnana. Our brains, their brains have been taken over by Maya. Their knowledge brought them some dust and rock. That's what the result of their knowledge. And that too, doing nothing there. What is the use of the rock and dust? Huh? So anyway, so we have to be very conscious of what is actually worth our attention, what is worth commending, what is worth, what we should condemn, and what we should commend. Should know. Okay, so I will, I think, end it here, and I will take any questions or comments. Tej Pratap, what is he saying? Sir, you read a lot. You can become officer by clearing exam in any country. Why you don't follow that? Yeah, we actually do that. We want to go to the country of Krishna, Goloka Vrindavan. Not just a country. We want to go to a planet. Country is too small for us. So we want to clear the exam of death. So you should also prepare for that. So that is what I want to prepare for. anu arunava biswas samashatrau sumitre cha tatah manapamanayo sitoshna sukhadukheshu samasang varjatah. Yes, 12:18. Yes, this quality is very favorite to Lord Krishna. Yeah. Mayavadi theory is a copper item that requires regular cleaning to bring its original shine, but gold doesn't require. In the same way, liberated souls don't require any endeavor. So, okay. They don't need to endeavor. Endeavor means when you endeavor for something, for your own cleaning, you are interested in your own self-interest. A liberated person, I'm talking about a devotee, he is not interested in his own improvement anymore. And so he does not need to endeavor to perfect himself. But he will endeavor every single bit to serve Krishna. And that is the end of all endeavors. The moment he stops endeavoring to serve Krishna, his material life starts again. So, to stay in that liberated position as gold, we have to act, because we are not just gold sitting there doing nothing. Then what will happen? Dust will be collected. Why gold? If you go to gold ore, from where you mine the gold, how does the gold look like? It does not look very attractive. It is covered by all kind of oxides and minerals and dust and everything. It looks unattractive. That's what happens. So if a gold is not serving, is not kept clean, it doesn't shine anymore. It will be eventually covered with dust, oxides, minerals, and everything. So in order to keep ourselves intact as gold, without this dust, so this is done by devotional service, because we ultimately are not just a dead piece of gold, we're a living piece of gold. And living means activity is there. And when the activity of Krishna consciousness is not done, then we have to come back to material activity. And that is the kalmash, the pollution, the dust that accumulates on us. So, the moment we stop serving Krishna, our material life starts again, the dust starts again. Saurav Sahu, I want to ask a question, Prabhuji. Is all 8,400,000 species come into existence as Brahma's day begins? If it is like this, then from where Darwin's evolution theory coming from, which saying we saying we what? There's no continuation of that. So anyway, I think I kind of understand. Darwin is wrong, first of all. Darwin is wrong. He may come up with Prabhupada said he may have come from a monkey. We did not. Because he's coming up with this monkey nonsense ideas. So these 8,400,000 species are always there. Of course, in the beginning of creation, in the beginning of Brahma's day, the population is very less. Then there are Prajapatis. The Prajapatis, they are the ones who populate. So very quickly, within very short time, the whole universe is populated. So anyway, these species are not just like because when this creation started, then this species all started. No, these species are there in the previous creation also, in the previous universe, in the previous millions of years ago, not millions, trillions and gazillions of years ago. That time also these species were there, and every creation these same species will again be populated in the whole universe, every single universe. So in that sense, they're always there. They are just sprouted again whenever the universe comes, like that. What about Aryabhatta? What do you mean? What about Aryabhatta? Evolved. What is that? Evolved from some single cell organisms. Saying we evolved from single cell. Oh, I think he has only single brain cell, maybe. That's all. Slap answer given to Tej Pratap. I mean, honestly, what kind of. Tej Pratap. Without Krishna consciousness, I think other monotheistic religions will succeed in converting Hindus to their religion. Krishna consciousness is a solution and urgently needed in India. This is our problem. Um, this is needed not only in India, this is needed everywhere. We are not in a competition with other monotheistic religions or polytheistic or pantheistic religions or atheistic religions. We are not in competition with them. Oh, if we don't do, then they will take over. See, to understand ourselves as Hindus or Muslims or Christians or Jains or Jews, Judaism or whatever, this is actually sectarian thinking. We don't think like this. Um, and you're saying other monotheistic religions will succeed. What is the success? How do you define success? Just by converting people, is that success? You have to solve the problem. The problem should be solved. Janma mrityu jara vyadhi dukkha doshana darshanam. So, but even if they don't even know what the problem is, many religions don't even think that there is repeated birth and death. So they don't even know how grave the problem is actually. Um, and yes, there are religions which say that there is one God, and that is correct. But the thing is, there is nowhere is there clarity like what we have in our shastra. So, how to love God is something that in many religions, God is feared, but in our case, God is loved. That is a much higher principle, and we should not propagate Krishna consciousness as a matter of competition with the others. We just have this is what we need actually. Everybody needs in the whole world. So we're not talking about only India, and we're talking about the whole world because everybody is a part and parcel of Krishna. If Darwin is true, then we possibly some monkey 0.1 million years ago. He may be monkey. Prabhupada said maybe he came from monkey, but we did not come from monkey. Prabhupada said. Because where do we see a monkey giving birth to a man? It never happened. Uh, I say, oh no, it is over a period of many millions. As if this guy was there for millions of years and saw the whole thing. Oh yeah, the monkey is slowly becoming man. Okay, I have seen now. Now I come to enlighten everyone. This guy was not even born. Huh? So Prabhupada said, yeah, maybe he has come from monkey. You know what? And what is this Manu Prabhuji? We know in Brahma's one day there are 14 Manus. Are they human beings? Are you reading Prabhupada's books? I want to know. Because these are all explained in Prabhupada's books. Manu is the father of mankind. Manushya means the descendant of Manu. Manava is a descendant of Manu. The word man is also coming from the word Manu. So he is the father of mankind, Prajapati. Or Vaivasvata Manu is the current Prajapati, you know, current Manu, seventh Manu. So these are all there. We have to understand these things from our statements of Shastra. If you read Bhagavatam, there you will find all these things. Chaitanya Charitamrita, actually, teachings of Lord Chaitanya has all these things. You should read Prabhupada's books regularly on a daily basis, then you will know all these answers. Alright, so that's it. No more questions, so we'll end it here. Thank you very much for your time, and we'll see you again on Saturday. We can't because Radhashtami. Then we have a boat festival on the Sunday. So Sunday, maybe Saturday and Sunday morning class, one of them. But otherwise, probably Monday or again Wednesday. Alright, so thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Bhagavad-gītā ki jai, Śrīla Prabhupada ki jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai, Nitai Gaur